Hey, what's up, guys? Mr. Fired Up Wealth here. Hope you're doing well. Hey, it's been a crazy week, and I just wanted to make kind of a raw, unscripted video, just kind of speak from the heart here for a few minutes. Lately I've seen more and more questions, in these Facebook groups that I'm in, and once a day, I thought it was a good question. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere, but I wanted to, I've been thinking about this all day, and I wanted to kind of talk to it with you guys a little bit. So someone asked in one of our groups on Facebook today, where do I invest my hard-earned money? What kind of plan do I follow? What stocks do I invest in? If I want $20,000 a year in dividend income, how much money do I need to save? Very general questions, but very detailed questions. And there's a few things that everybody needs to be aware of. And sometimes I've been doing this for 20 years. I've built a very large account over the years, started out really small. And sometimes I make assumptions and I shouldn't. And so I want to kind of back up and talk a little bit about some basic rules of the game. So the number one rule that I'm seeing a lot of people not really, seem like they totally understand this. The number one rule is you need to invest only money that you can afford to lose. So, if you have $2,000 and you're trying to flip it to $4,000, that's probably not going to happen. So what are your goals? What are you trying to do with this money? This money, when you invest it, it really needs to sit there in assets long term that you don't need to touch for a long time and to grow. So it's better than throwing in the bank and only making a couple percent interest. Where can I put it where my nest egg can grow? Somewhere that, hopefully I have confidence that, I'm not going to lose all of my money. So number one, though, is you have to be comfortable when you invest that money in the stock market, knowing that you could lose some or even all of that money. And if you aren't comfortable with that, you shouldn't be investing it. And that's very important. The second thing is to get a plan. So many people go into it, hey, what do I invest? What stock should I buy today? Get a plan. Everybody's plan is different because you need to know the plan in order to know the suitability of what stocks you should be looking at. Is it high yield? Is it high growth? Is it a combination? So a plan. What's your plan? Are you trying to retire young like I am? Because if you are, that's going to be a lot different than if you're going to retire at 65. If you're retiring at 65, you can use traditional methods like IRAs and 401ks. If you're trying to retire early, you're going to need things like taxable accounts, and there's other considerations like healthcare before Medicare, and a slew of other things that you need to think of. So what's your plan? What are you trying to accomplish when you're investing? What's the end game? And from there, then you'll know the suitability. Like for me, I try to invest in stocks that have lots of growth, and I try to take that growth, outperform the S&P 500, sell that outperformance, and buy dividend growth investing DGI stocks, blue chip, as well as ETFs. Now, you can also, there's a lot of strategies you can do. You can start out just being a DGI investor, but with my approach, I'm trying to outperform the market, sell the outperformance to accelerate early retirement. When I do buy DGI, dividend growth investing stocks, so back up for a second. What is dividend growth? Dividend growth means a stock that pays dividends and increases their dividend payout every year. So ideally, you want that to outpace inflation, and it's easy to do right now, but you want that to outpace inflation. So if you want $60,000 a year, next year it's going to need to be slightly higher to keep up with inflation. Otherwise, you're going to run into an issue. So that's what DGI is. A lot of people get the misconception of what dividend growth investing is. So when I'm going into a DGI type stock, I look for a stock that has hopefully 10 years or more of dividend growth. I want the dividend yield to be between 2 and 3%, usually not more. And I want the dividend payout to be 50% or less. And the reason I want that to be 50% or less is a company that has more money to invest in R&D, in theory, should grow, accelerate, and grow faster than a company that's paying everything out to dividends. So you think of like REITs that pay pretty much 100% of their profits out to their shareholders. They're not going to grow. You're going to get a 7% yield, and it's almost like a bond. It's just going to sit there and that's fine. Again, it depends on the suitability, what your goal is, what you're trying to accomplish. But I want stocks like Visas that don't even have a 1% payout, but are growing so fast that I can shave some of that outperformance, and I can reinvest that into other things, like ETFs, et cetera. So that's really important to keep in mind. And when you're going through, okay, now I've got a plan, you also need to research, and that research probably happens before you, because it's going to help you determine the plan. But you need to read books, you need to listen to people that you trust, that are reputable, that have been doing it for a long time, and you need to gain that knowledge so that you know what you're doing before you start investing into individual stocks. Um, my website here, this is my YouTube channel that you're seeing on the screen. 228 subscribers so far. I really appreciate the support at this point. I started this about 8 weeks ago, I think, this YouTube channel. And I started this channel just because when I was in my 20s, I had, no, I had no, I had no mentor. I had no one really to look up to. I just had to try to figure out things on my own. And so I'm not trying to get rich off this. You know, Nothing is monetized. So I have a website, I have a Facebook page, I have a YouTube channel. This is all here to try to help people like you, hopefully learn a little bit and inspire them to save and to grow their retirement. I started with $50 a month, and slowly grew that as my income grew, increased my savings as my income grew, and now I've got a very large account that's going to allow me to retire in my mid 40s, and that's another thing. So financial independence, retire early. So you see fired up wealth. What is fired up wealth? So financial independence, retire early with dividends. And the idea is that you're going to live off your dividends, and those dividends are going to basically pay for like a salary to you. With the fired up approach, you're actually, like I said before, you're trying to outperform the market. You're selling outperformance. You're reinvesting that outperformance into dividend paying stocks. But that's for financial independence, retire early. A lot of people will get the misconception of, well, why would you want to retire when you're 45? Wouldn't you be bored? For me, it's about the F.I.R.E, the financial independence. So having financial independence allows me to retire from a corporate job, to be my own boss, to be able to start my own business, and have that peace of mind and that financial security to never have to stress about money, enjoy more time traveling, enjoy more time with my family, with my wife, etc. To me, that's what the FIRE approach is. It's different for everybody. I'm not going to retire and just sit around and watch Oprah, and most people aren't. But that's a misconception that you're retired when you're 35. Most of the people that are into the real FIRE movement, they want that financial independence from a corporate job or what have you to be able to have that freedom. So mine's kind of a little bit different approach, and with the fired up wealth, the fired movement, you're retiring in your probably in your early to mid 40s, very comfortably, and be able to live off your dividends. So anyway, so here's some videos. If you haven't stopped by the channel, this is right now I'm doing an unscripted, just a raw, speak from the heart type of video, but I've got several different styles of videos. Like this one here, I just did a walkthrough. This was a live cast, basically going through Planet 13 dispensary in Las Vegas. Here's a review afterwards of my hotel. Here's actual stock chart analysis on Lockheed Martin. And then there's these more polished videos that have the top 25 stocks, and then some of the fired up, kind of talking about what the fired approach is about with some of these flames here. If you haven't checked out this playlist called the top 25 stock picks, I would definitely recommend it. It has top 5 cloud, top 5 autonomous driving, top 5 for 5G, top 5 for marijuana, top 5 for fintech. Those are the 5 secular growth trends that I've identified as being very important for you to outperform the S&P 500 over the next 5 to 10 years, over the next decade. And these are the 25 stocks that I've outlined that I think will perform well in that time period. Some of them are GGI, some of them are high flyer growth. There's also honorable mentions in each of those. So when you get time, it's about an hour worth altogether. But I think, if you're looking for some stock picks, I think there's some great information. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do that. And obviously, you're going to hit the subscribe button. And there's a little bell that you have to click too, so you get notifications. Another great way to keep in tune with what's going on is if you're on Facebook, most people are, there's a public page called Fired Up Wealth, and you can go in here. There's tons of information, not just the videos from YouTube, but things like, do these numbers look accurate to you? How are you doing for your age? So this is average millennial net worth by age. And you can see age 38, class of 2003, that's graduating college in 2003. The average net worth is 33,000. Look at this for the high achiever net worth, we're at 435,000. So, some good conversation on there. Lots of different articles from, CNBC, Seeking Alpha, whatever. Here's one about, I retired at 34 with 3 million. Here's 7 benefits of retirement that I didn't expect. Here's Earnings Whispers showing you what earnings are coming up each week. We try to, post 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 posts a day just to keep people engaged. It's a public page, and you can just, type in Fired Up Wealth. You can find it. Once you're in the group, there's also a couple private groups. This is the Fired Up Wealth members only group, which goes into much more detail with a lot of different things. You also get to vote on things like, what video I'm going to do next. Looks like Boeing might be next here. And then, I wanted to point this out real quick. So the thing about this group and even this channel is it's not just one strategy. And I recommend everybody, again, to find your own strategy, find what's suitable for you, what's your plan, what are your goals, and then get ideas from other people and make your own plan that works for you. This group, both the Facebook group and the YouTube channel, it's mixing a bunch of different strategies into one. So dividend growth investing, we talked about, number one. So, number two, DGI. Some people just invest in DGI and they're hardcore about it. Like, oh, you can't talk about Amazon because they don't have a dividend. Well, that goes into bucket number one, growth investing, high flyers with no dividend. I want to be in stocks like Amazon. I want those to outperform. I want to sell that outperformance and then buy DGI. I also want to, buy value stocks. Number three, value investing. Sometimes that combines with DGI, sometimes it doesn't. But there's some of the beaten down, stocks like TD Ameritrade is one I just bought yesterday. I mean, it's trading at, I think, 12 times or 12 PE with a 2.5% yield. To me, those are value picks, Buffett style. And then you've got the speculative high risk investing, like with cannabis, even some cryptocurrencies I dabble in. ETFs are part of my portfolio. In fact, as you age, that percentage actually increases. So when you get more towards the end game, ETFs are going to be a much larger position in your portfolio, just because you want to hedge that risk. Even individual stocks, I try not to invest more than 1% of my portfolio into an individual stock. Now, granted, I have a large account, but you need to, again, take ideas that I'm giving you, other people give you, and make it your own. This allows me to hedge risk. If I have a stock blow up overnight, it goes down 50%, I'm not losing a huge chunk of my portfolio. I'm losing, a percentage of a percent. ETFs are a great way to do that. I recommend starting that way. Read books, invest in ETFs before you start dabbling into these individual stocks. I even do things like day trading, number 6 there on your screen, swing trades, and then diversified investments outside the stock market. My wife and I have done a bunch of real estate, investing, rental properties. We even have a couple of restaurants that we're part owners in now. One's with Andrew Zimmern, a Chinese place in Minneapolis. So, it's there's a lot of ways to build wealth, but none of them, mostly none of them are going to happen overnight. You're going to, invest money that you can afford to lose and do your best to be educated, study, do homework, listen to earnings calls, read 10Ks, do research on websites. My pages, my YouTube channel, my Facebook pages are there to help you, but you need to do some of that on your own. I'm trying to help save you some time, but there might be stocks that I'm not paying attention to that, you should look into yourself. So anyway, we've got, a couple hundred people. All this stuff is pretty new. This whole project with Fired Up Wealth started early May. So basically May, June, July, 3 months, I guess. So we've grown quite a bit. We'd love to have you guys on board as a subscriber or even in these groups, and let's grow together. So Anyway, I want to make some more videos like this, just kind of raw, unscripted, speak from the heart. Um, just tell you what's on my mind. It's been a crazy week. Beginning of the week this week, we had huge sell off, and now today we're back to where we started, and then futures are down, and that could change again before we wake up. So, it's important for us to stick together as investors to try to bounce ideas off each other. Nobody knows everything. I learn, from other people every day, and I hope that you learn from people like me and other people, and we all can learn from each other. So nothing's monetized. Maybe someday it will be, but honestly, it's not. That's not the goal of mine. I want to. I spend a lot of time on this researching. I'm passionate about it. It's something I enjoy, and it's something I can easily share with people, and hopefully, pass along some information and maybe help you out a little bit. So, subscribe, follow, comment, like, all that good stuff. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Tomorrow's Friday. Have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll be posting another video very soon. Take care.